to jump right back into this. I got my water, I'm ready to get going. So we're going back to our screen capture and we're right back to the car modding tutorial. So in the case that I decide to split these up, a little recap, I'm Jay Soren. I am going through a video tutorial of me. I guess I'm going through the tutorial provided by Bohemia Interactive for modding Arma Reforger, and specifically we're doing the car modding tutorial. If you are watching this and haven't watched the modify an existing car section yet, go back, find my videos and watch that first. That will explain or go through preparing the prefab. What we are going to do next, we in the last video we prepared the prefab and changed the multi-material base color. This next one we are going to do our components overview section. Alright, so I might be a little quiet in sections. This is my first time going through this. As I get better at this, or if I go back and redo any of these sections, I will probably cut these out and repost them. But so just bear with me. First time going through this one. So let's see. So starting the components overview. Oh yeah, the last section I said this. Yeah, there's a lot more components available in the prefab options. So what we're talking about, going back to the Infusion workbench, we are looking at the modded UAZ 469 that we created, and we're going to the prefab. So you can go back to the world editor, or you can click on this again and it will bring your world editor pop-up back up. And what we're talking about is these components. So this list of components under our object properties. So if you've done the weapon modding tutorial or you mess with those, you see that there's a ton more options available here than there are in the weapons. Now let's learn more about what's going on here. All right, so we're going to use the following components. Actions manager component to manage contextual actions. SCR vehicle damage manager component to modify damage our vehicle is taking. Mesh object to change used material. The SCR fuel consumption, change fuel consumption and capacity. The motor exhaust effect generator component to change exhaust particle effects. The vehicle wheel simulation to change the general driving behavior. Oh, look at this, and they even have this vehicle components page which lists all of these different parts in detail. Go check that out if you're curious. I don't know all of these things here, so I couldn't go through them with you. If I wanted, I would just be reading them out from me there. So check that out if you're curious. If you're confused on what one of these are, go and find this vehicle components page somewhere in this website. All right, this is talking about the icons and what some of them do. All right, so it looks like that part is just the overview. We're going to continue on to the modifying damage behavior. All right, so this chapter, how to increase armor on a vehicle, and we're going to make it super fragile to collisions. So damage manager overview. The vehicle damage simulation is contained in the SCR vehicle damage manager component. So let's go back to, now we're going to our world editor, which we're here, and we are looking for our SCR vehicle damage manager component. And I'm going to double check that I got the right one. That was, yep, that's it. All right, so once I click on this, right below it, I get all these drop downs and information related to this. Look at this. We got additional hit zones. We got the collision damage. We got a little debug menu. I'll pull this out so we can see everything here. And so yeah, let's go back to the manual and figure out what they want us to do. All right, so the main hit, this vehicle hit zone element. Where is this vehicle hit zone? So it looks like it's in the hull. All right, so with the vehicle hit zone element, serve as global damage collector. Once total HP is destroyed, the whole vehicle is considered destroyed and damage particles will spawn, like destruction particle, burning particle resource. Those are different things that you can even edit in here. But anyways, the together with the wreck model, defined in the wreck model. So this is when the vehicle goes catastrophic. That's what shows up, the wreck model. More information about how the damage is handled can be found here. Damage vehicles. Let's see, is that shown in there? Okay. So having us, it looks like it's not telling us to change anything yet. So on to increasing armor. In order to increase armor of the vehicle, we have to change HP max parameter. Or let me double check. I want to make sure I'm not missing one of these pieces. All right, looks like we're not editing the total HP. We're going to keep that the same. So in order to increase the armor of our vehicle, we will have to change the HP max parameter, which, looking at it, it bolds it out in green. To ensure that it survives even the strongest projectiles in the game, I would recommend adding 2 zeros to the HP max value. Similarly, HP damage, which controls when damage particles are started to be played, can also be increased too, so smoke doesn't start to appear too early. Okay, and let's go do that. So what is this? This says to set it to 8,000 and 4,000, and we're gonna go find those. And already I forget where that one was. So let's see. I'm going back. Okay, I'm looking for hull. I'm looking for hull. Let's go find the hull. Click this drop down. There we go. So we have our max health, critical damage, and I've got horrible ADHD. I forget which ones already we're doing. All right, we're doing HP max to 8,000. Now, before I forget, let's find where this is. Now look at that. There's our wreck model, the model that shows up once it's destroyed. I don't think we're messing with that, but just interesting that it's there. Damage particle, that's what shows up. The smoke starts once it's damaged at a certain percentage. All right, so let's figure out why are we not seeing the same thing. I'm going to bring this over here so we can look right at it. All right, so I'm in additional hit zones. I'm under hull, and we have this HZ default. It's checked, and right down below it should be, there's that option to ignore explosions. Okay, so maybe there's been an update. Maybe that's why this is a little different. Maybe I have the wrong thing out. I'm not too sure yet. But anyways, the HP max and the HP damaged. And our collision modifiers here. So could just take a guess. Oh, you know what? Something's up because looking at this, look at that. We have SRC vehicle hit zone over here, but this one says flammable hit zone. So maybe I'm in the wrong spot. Let's see, which one do we have open? We have vehicle damage manager component. Vehicle damage manager component, that one's right. We have we are not in the unsorted. So that's where my mistake was. So down in, oh no, it wasn't unsorted. Let's see. Bring that back up so we can try to compare these. Maybe that is fine. All right, let's see. Can I edit this? Doesn't look like I can. All right, so anytime things aren't looking like it's supposed to, maybe a couple reasons. A lot of this I end up troubleshooting. So once I figure this out, I will remake this video so that it is a lot clearer. But for now, it's a good, I guess, lesson on troubleshooting or just kind of figuring shit out. So let's go back from the top. Let's make sure we have the UAZ 469. So looking at this, we have our UAZ 469 modded. Let's see if UAZ 469 body, material 1, okay. Here, a little animation for changing the color like we did earlier. The components overview. So we have these different components that we're looking at. Yeah, ours is the right emblem. We have some of these other ones here. All right, talking about increasing the armor. All right, let's see if we can search this. All right, that's interesting. It's not showing up. I'm going to go back to our, is it worth it to go back to our, can I give this a Shopify? No. Let's see if I go back to my, what does this one do? So the base one, which is not the one we want to use, but I'm just looking to see if they're the same. All right, max health, critical damage, all this kind of stuff. That's not what we want. All right, let's go back to our modded file. So we're back at our modded file. Let's look at the different options. close some of these up to make it easier to navigate. I don't think we need to go into the destruction handler. All right, now at this point, I got a couple options. I can make a guess, or I can go to the handy dandy Discord page and try to find some options here. So I use this all the time. There is I guess I can't make this wide. There we go. All right, so this is the Arma Reforger Discord page. I'm going to search in here and just see if I can find anything on what's going on with it. Use some keywords, nothing showing up on the All right, so in discussion, these people are talking about player max HP, less max HP. All right, so we're going to go back. I think I know what's going on over here. So I knew this was the case for worn objects. I wasn't sure. I thought that because it was in the tutorial, it would be here. But I do know that the armor modifier for players and clothing is not available yet. And I'm assuming that it's also not available to be manipulated here. So I don't think that it's been released yet. BI is working on it as far as I know. We can't change the... right now at this point, I'm going to continue and assume that we can't modify the damage to these vehicles right now. So I think it looks like we can change the max health, the critical damage, but I don't think I can specifically change what we were looking for with the HP max and the HP damage. So you do max health. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the max health. What effect will this have? Let's see. So no description available. Minimum is unlimited, max is unlimited. Let's look for, I'm pulling open all the wrong things. Let's read a little bit farther, see what it says. All right, increasing the armor. Maybe this is outdated. We'll try this out. Let's do our max health to 8,000. Actually, we'll do our max health to 6,000. We'll see what happens. So we'll remember that's what we did. We're changing that to 6,000. Do I want to change any of these? Ooh, the collision multiplier. We might change that. Let's keep going through the tutorial. So increasing armor. I don't think we can do this yet, so we're going to skip over this part. Oh, HP damage. Can we do that one yet? I don't think. Yeah, we didn't see that one, right? Yeah, that one's not available yet either. All right, and if I keep researching or if anyone comments on here and you realize that I've said something wrong, please let me know because I will update this, or at least make a note of it in the description. All right, so increasing collision impulse. So we want to increase the amount of damage received from collision with environment. So simply increase the collision multiplier to 100,000. This will result in huge damage being applied upon collision and decrease collision velocity threshold to 1. All right, let's try it out. Where was that? The collision multiplier. That's the one, right? And like I'll keep going back and forth. Collision multiplier. That's the one we want, and we're gonna put it to 100,000. All right, click off that. That is now at 100,000. On to the next. All right, so the goal of this tutorial was to make it so that it could survive direct RPG hits, but it would be destroyed by a slight bumping into an obstacle. With how high we set our, so let's see, we edited our max health to 6,000. I imagine it will still get destroyed if we bump it, and I don't know if this will be enough for an RPG to destroy it. It might not, but we'll see. Let's now look at. All right, let's see if we can find this collision damage drop down. So, oh yeah, right here. So I'm going to collapse the unsorted, open our collision damage. Our front is 0.7. Oh yeah, and it looks like this matches up with what is shown on the tutorial. All right, 0.7, and looks like these are all the same. Cool, on to the next part. Oh, and I was scrolling down, just noticed the collision velocity threshold. Let's make sure that changed. There it is. Oh, 10,000. But we want this to be 1. I'll double check that again. 1. I don't think those zeros matter. Oh yeah, I gave it the zeros. Now we're all the same. All right, on to the next section. All right, so now we are getting into, you know what, let's do a break there. That took really long time, and we'll use this as a breaking point between videos. So we just did we went over the components, looked at these components out overview, didn't really do anything with that. And what we did was modify the damage behavior. All right, so we finished modifying the damage behavior. We cannot yet change the armor rating of this or increase the armor, but we can increase the amount of damage that it takes when you collide into something. Now we're going to take a quick pause, and then we're going to do the changing fuel consumption.